And we are back to our Timberborn Update 6 world. But we are here for different reasons. We're not gonna play the next episode, it's done. We have built our last wonder. What we are gonna do instead is a bunch of different new things you can do with the Update 6. But by playing this update for so long, I have built a lot of stuff, I have learned a lot of stuff, and here in this video, I'm gonna show you everything I know. And one of the first things we have done with the new building blocks in the Update 6 was this aqueduct thing we have right here. So what does it do? Well, for us right now, it just creates power. We have 4 wheels and it creates about 1,000 power in total. Let's remove everything and let me show you how to do that and what other options you have as well. Alright, so here we are. The way I have built it, my first idea I thought was just have platforms on one side and then have the overhang just across. Now, that's a decent solution, but that's not what the aqueducts from the Roman Empire, that's not how they look, that's not how they are built. Let's build them the way they have built them. So let's see here, we're gonna take some triple platforms, and then we're gonna do a double wide. Perfect, just like that. And let's now find the overhang that would fit us. It's 3 by 3 on that side. How about on the other? Some 3, some 2, and like this. And of course now let's not forget, this is the most important thing. As you can see, the water flows down, and we have a new block for that, which is called the impermeable floor. So we are gonna place it where the water, the bad water, whatever it is, will flow. So we're gonna place it right in the middle, and on the sides we're gonna use levees to block it off. And if we speed it up, as you can see, this simple, beautiful aqueduct is actually just running as it should. Now, if you're like me and you don't like the way platforms look in this building, on this aqueduct, I have a solution for you. It's different cost, but might be easier in some ways. What you can do instead is use levees, and then instead of using the platforms, you place levees just under the same way we have done. We just replace the platforms. Then you get this look, which I prefer. So it's not really the stone that the Romans used, but honestly it does look much nicer to me. So there's an option for that as well. And by the way I have built it right here, that the water goes straight out, this was just for us to both remove the bad water and start using this area right down here. You can of course just keep pushing it all the way around and create an S. Or not an S, but yeah, you get it. So it goes up and down, left and right, up and down, and have a lot more power. And that's absolutely possible, workable. It works really well. The next big thing I have found to be really extremely useful was all the overhangs plus the metal platform. So let's get down here below everything, just like this. As you see, at the bottom here, we have underground piles. Now, I have underground piles. You can have regular piles, right? It doesn't matter. But we have a bunch of storage underneath. And then you can see we have this metal platform. You see the 4 right triangles almost. So that's metal platform. It's this thing right here. So we have 6 of them, I believe, just next to each other, filling up the area. And on top of them, we have but a lot of large warehouses for every possible thing. Food, dynamites, gears, everything you can dream of. And of course, there is a pathway between every one of them. And if we go a bit up, we have one more platform here for the next row. And on top of warehouses, we have a bunch of workshops, factories, all of that. As you can see, we have gear shop, planks, woodwork shop, observatory. So they are all connected and they use almost no space. So they're on top of each other. It's really easy and efficient for them to just get up, go down, pick up everything they need. And it works really well. So that's one side of this whole thing. The next side we have is this thing, which we did, I believe, in the last episode. And what we have here, as you saw, we have platform, so they can all get into all the warehouses. Then we have one more platform, and then we have all of these overhangs. So now all the overhangs, as you can see, right, it goes up. This allows us to create even more for all the bakery, on all the grills, even more of that stuff. But also, look how much storage. For this, I have just used the medium warehouses. Of course, you can add more factories, and you can use this simple trick here to transfer power from one side to the other. We just have a turn power shaft with a straight one and a turn, and then just connect them right here on these 3 blocks. And I have more factories on this side. And now you might think this is the end. You might think that you can't build anything on top of these sorts of buildings, but you can with a really simple trick. And now This depends on what the size of the building is, how tall is it. For example, for the lumber mill, you need to double. For the workshop, wood workshop, you need, I think it was triple, maybe even four tall platform. And then on top of that, you can use the overhang, right? Connect them, and here you go. You have another level for new factories, new storage, new whatever you're dreaming about. You can really simply expand even further. This is beautiful. This is amazing. This gives us so many more possibilities. I love it. One thing that I haven't done here in my world, but it's possible, is also have all of this stuff being built on the farms. For example, let's remove one of them, and here you can just put a 5x5 platform like that. And as you can see, beavers can go under them, get all the carrots, potatoes, everything that's growing. And you know, that area works as normal. Plus, on top of here, with a simple stairs, hold up, let's get upstairs right here. And with a pair of stairs like that, you can have farmhouses, maybe storage, and just simple as that. This space is so much more efficient right now. And sure, it costs a bit to unlock in science points, but also metal blocks. It's so worth having it. Definitely a huge improvement compared to what we had before. Now I have showed you how to do it on the farms, but of course you can do it on the forest farms as well. You just need to be a bit higher up using platforms, that's all. Otherwise, it works the same way. Equally efficient, equally nice. Absolutely recommend to do that later in the game or when you can afford it. The next thing we have built was this monstrosity here. Honestly, I really don't like it. It's ugly. It's ugly. There is no other way around it. It's bad. That's how it is. But you can do better. You can do so much better. I don't remember who did this. I saw it on Reddit. With some simple changes, you can improve it so much more. Let me show you. I'm gonna build an example here. You can, of course, use platforms just like this. Hold up. Also, you can use levees. What you need to do is build it double up, two side by side. And why we're doing that? Because we want the overhangs to go on both sides at the same height. So let me show you. Let's see, we take 6x1. And what we can do is do stuff like this. Now, if I did it right, I would have built them a bit further away and then have overhang just connected, you know, really nicely. But that's not what happened here. So there we go. And then on top of here, you're gonna start placing a bunch of power banks, gravity battery, right? So there we go. And I always prefer the levees when we look at the design. Let's be honest here. Both of these look a lot nicer, especially when you have them all the way around compared to this thing we have done here. And don't forget, you can always build them at the same height here. So it might be more expensive because you need a bit more planks or logs, but if I were to do this again, I would definitely build something like this instead of the thing we have built. And the next new thing in the Timberborn Update 6 was the vertical power shaft. And this is something I'm really proud of. I haven't looked at anybody here. This was something I built by myself. And this is the power transfer all the way up around the staircase. We have beavers, right? Going up to, well, finish off building all of these power banks. And then in the middle, we have the power going up and down to all the machineries that are alive right now. And it's really simple. So it's 3x3 with the middle of the power shaft. So as you can see here, on each side in the middle, we have stairs going up. And that's the trick here. That means that on each corner, they can turn around to the left side or the right side and just get up to the next level. All right, so let's build one really easy right down here. So we're gonna start with stairs going straight up to 3 tall. And then we're gonna go with one more 3. And then we have 3 plus 1. And then in the middle we have stairs, right? It's that easy. Let's go with something like this. Then we have 4, then we have 1, and there we go, stairs in the middle on the next side. And this whole thing continues as long as you need it. And of course, don't forget the pathway to every level. And now for the power shafts, we're gonna use a upward power shaft. Let's find a good side to connect it. Yeah. So for example, towards us right here. And then we just use vertical power shaft and it goes up. And when you're on top, when it's time to connect to the power banks, you use the downward power shaft and you select what side it's gonna go on. For example, that side. So we have power towards us on one side and then to the left. And this is all modular and you can have it in every possible way you can. And finally, to the single biggest thing that has been added to Timberborn Update 6, the sluice. There's a lot we can talk about this. So if you don't know, the way sluice works is by it having a in and out where water goes in and water goes out. And on the outside is where kind of the big magic happens. So on the outside, you can select, you want it to, for example, close when the water reaches a certain amount of water or height. So I have it on 225 simply because I don't want it to end. I don't need to save water up here. And if I were to do that, if I want to save and slow down how much water flows in here, the power wheels down here would, well, they would not produce as much water as, or they would not produce as much power as we need. And also, if you didn't know, you can also control and close off a sluice when it has certain amount of pollution from the bad water. It should close off these 4 sluices when the contamination is above 0% or 1%. So bad tide shows up, bad water comes down here. All of these 4 will close up. So where does the bad water go? Well, we have 2 sluices right here, and these work the same way but the opposite way. These work, or these are closed off when it's clean water, and then when contamination is above 1%, they will open up and send the bad water right outside here. But there is so much more you can do. For example, right here I have a sluice. This was one of the early builds we have done, or big changes we have done. So we have a water tunnel that goes straight to a lake right here. We have more stuff down here, but let's now focus just on this side. On this sluice, we should close it off when the water in front of it, so this water right here, is above 0.85. So that means that this area is always, or the sluice is always going to make sure, as much as it can, of course, that the water is at max 0.85. So if we have a 0.5 water on one side, sluice can't make 0.85 on the other side right here. So you have to remember that, and that's why I have. So the sluice here is at 0.85 and the double floodgate is at 1.9, so 0.9. And as you can see, not much water is flowing in when it reaches that level. Some water will be evaporated, but that's all. And then, of course, when it's time to push in new water, sluice will do it. Then we have this area right down here. As you can see, there is a water tunnel right down here, and then it goes below. We have a sluice right here, and then on to the next sluice. So these work similar. We have one of the sluices which is at 0.8, and it will keep this area 0.8. Done. So why have I put them down below instead of up here? And that's because to keep some water in reserve right here. It's not much, but it's something at least. And it didn't cost me anything different. I just put the sluice below, and the same thing down here as well. We have it below everything, and some water is being saved in the tunnel right here. Another way to look at this whole thing is to go backwards. So we have a sluice here which will keep the water at max 0.8, and when the water reaches 0.8, it will close off. So now this area will be filled up, and it will fill up until this sluice is 0.8. So this whole area plus the tunnel down here needs to be 0.8 for this one to close off. Then we go back. So we have a small tunnel right here, and this whole lake is all connected. So when this whole thing is 0.8, then this sluice is happy and it will close off. If it goes below, if any of these other sluices go below, this sluice will open up and send more water in to even up and make it as it should be. I've said sluice so many times I'm kinda confused now. And if you haven't seen what's new in the update 6, there is a video right here that will show you everything you need to know about the update 6. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.